welcome for this lecture. Today we are going to discuss numericals on dependent sources. Okay, we have discussed in earlier classes also. There are four types of dependent sources we have. One is voltage control voltage source, and current control voltage source, and voltage control current source, and a current control current source. Okay, remember these four. Okay, if you observe these four, only there are two sources, right? One is a voltage source, another one is a current source. Okay, one is a voltage source, another one is a current source. In that current source, this voltage source is dependent on two things. One is voltage, another one is current. Okay, if this voltage source is dependent on voltage in the network, okay, on the other any other voltage of any other element, then this is called as a voltage controlled voltage source. Okay, similarly, this voltage source may be dependent on some current in the same circuit, okay, in the same network itself, but it is dependent on some current of other branches and so on. Then this voltage source is called as a current controlled voltage source. Similarly, see, we have a current source. Suppose this current source is dependent on voltage in this network, or it may be dependent on some current. Okay, so whatever it may be, but these are voltage source and current source, that you have to be careful. Okay, this we supposed to consider. Whatever it may be, based on this presentation, we will get to know whether this is represented like this. Always it will be in the form of a rhombus. Okay, this indicates that a voltage source, and this indicates with arrow mark indicates that is a current source. It may be dependent on voltage or current, and this may be dependent on voltage or current. Based on this dependency, we are going to bifurcate these current sources and voltage sources as voltage controlled, current controlled, and so on. Okay, so let's solve a numerical on this. Very simple numerical we have taken here. Find all branch currents and voltage across each resistors. Okay, we have to calculate all the branch currents, and we have to calculate voltage across each resistances. Remember one thing, just observe the circuit how it is. Okay, there is a 4 volt voltage source, and then 5 ohm resistance, and there is a 3 ohm 10 volt voltage source independent, and one independent is this a voltage source or a current source? This is a voltage source, because in the rhombus they have specified plus and minus, and this is a voltage source. What is this? On what it is dependent? It is dependent on the current I1. Okay, it is dependent, this voltage source is dependent on current. Okay, where is this current is? This current is nothing but which is flowing through this 5 ohm resistance. Okay, that is I1. Okay, now we have got it that this voltage source is dependent on the current, then its name will be current dependent voltage source. Okay, current dependent voltage source. So now what we have, while considering network, and when you are taking a KCL or a KV, whatever it may be, when you are applying some methods, during that you have to consider it as a voltage source only. Okay, and then we have to make use of on what it is dependent, and we are supposed to find out that element later. Okay, yes. So let's find the branch currents of this and voltage across each resistance. There are two loops. Let's apply, it's better to apply KVL for the two loops. Okay, this is I1 I'll take, this is I2 I'll take. Remember, this I1 and this I1 are now, because I1 is independently flowing through 5 ohm, and then this I1 is also independent loop current. So here I1 will be equal to this I1. Okay, so both you can take, or else you can take it as a capital I1 and I2. Here you can see capital I1 will be equal to small I1. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. This current and this current both are same. Now we'll apply KVL for the two loops. This is first and second loop. Apply KVL for the first loop, apply KVL for the second loop. When you are applying KVL for the first loop, okay, when you are applying KVL for the first loop, I'll be taking, see, let's start from this. Okay, minus 4 volt plus 5 I1. Okay, 5 I1, As I said, I am taking I1 for this and I2 for this. So this I1 and this I1 both are same for us. Okay, 5 I1. And next, once you come, this is, even though it is a dependent source, but it is the voltage source. Take as it is. If it was a voltage source, how we used to take? Plus 3I we used to take, whatever it may be, but you have to take in the same way as a voltage source. We have to consider as a voltage source. So now I am taking 3I. It is a voltage source, right? Next, I am reaching to a 2 ohm resistance plus 2. You are in a first loop, and through that another current is also flowing, that is I2. So as it is, no doubt in this how we used to follow, right? Only thing is this 3I1, this I1 is what, that value we have to substitute. I hope you have got this how to write. Okay, suppose if we are writing for the second loop, okay, let's start with the 3. It is 3I2, it is a second loop, so it is I2, 3I2, and you are reaching minus 10 volt, right? And then plus 2 ohm. Now you are in a second loop, and this current is I1. Observe both, are they in the same direction or opposite direction, and then you can take it as I2 minus I1. Okay, and the next you are reaching a dependent voltage source, so directly you can take a voltage source, that is minus 3 I1, which is equal to 0, like this. Okay, and then whatever you have written I1, you have to observe, you have to take a line aside, and then you have to write what is the I1 means. What is this I1? Where it is I1? Where it is I1 is nothing but a current flowing, this 5 ohm is nothing but your loop current. So that I1 I can place. Okay, let's see this. Apply KVL for the first loop, minus 4 volt, okay, plus 5 I1 plus 3 I1 plus 2 I1 minus I2 equal to 0. Simplify. 5 I1 plus 3 I1 plus 2 I1 is the 10 I1 minus 2 I2 equal to, this 4 can be sent this side, which is equal to plus 4. Apply KVL to the second loop. You can write, start from this, 3 I2 minus 10 volt, okay, plus 2 I2 minus I1. You are reaching a negative of the dependent source. Directly you can write, dependent or independent, it is a voltage source. Okay, so minus 3 I1 equal to 0, right? Simplify this, 3 I2 plus 2 I2, which is equal to 5 I2, and then 2 minus 2 I1 minus 3 I1 is minus 5 I1 equal to minus 10 is the send that side, it will be 10. By solving first equation and second equation, you get I1 equal to 1 ampere, I2 equal to 3 ampere. Okay, I hope you have got this. Alright, once you have got these values, now they have asked us to calculate current through each branch. So let's find out this first branch, I1. I1 is how much? Loop current, it is 1 ampere. I2 is the loop current, that is 3 ampere. Now what might be the current through this 3 ohm? Current through this 3 ohm is nothing but your I2. Okay, that is nothing but 3 ampere. And current flowing through this 5 ohm is nothing but I5 ohm. Okay, I'll write here, I5 ohm is nothing but your I1, that is nothing but your how much? 1 ampere. Okay, then to calculate current flowing through this 2 ohm, okay, current flowing through this 2 ohm, what we have to do is I2 ohm I need, right? So apply KCL at this point. So when you are applying KCL at that point, then we get, okay, at that point I2 ohm, okay, I2 ohm is entering, so plus I2 is coming like this. There is a difference between I2 and I2 ohm. I2 is the loop current of the second loop, and then I2 ohm is the current flowing through the 2 ohm resistance. Okay, so then I2 ohm is entering, and then I2 is also entering, so plus I2, I1 is leaving, so minus I1 equal to 0. Then what we require, I2 ohm, you know I1 and I2, so send this side, it will be I1 minus I2. Do this, you get a minus 2 ampere. Okay, once we calculate branch currents, let's calculate voltage across each resistance. Since we know all these values, I1, I2 and I3 ohm, I2 ohm and I5 ohm is also same as I1. Let's calculate voltage across this 5 ohm, that is V5 ohm is nothing but voltage across 5 ohm. current through this I1 into 5 ohm. I1 is 1 ampere, 1 into 5 which is 5 volts. V3 ohm, that is voltage across 3 ohm. V3 ohm is equal to current flowing through this I3 ohm into 3 ohm resistance. So I3 ohm is 3 ampere, substitute, you get a 9 volt. So V2 ohm, voltage across V2 ohm is equal to I2 ohm into 2 ohm resistance. Multiply this, you will get minus 4 volts. Okay. This is how we have to apply, we have to consider dependent sources. Let's see another example. A simple in this, most of the things can be considered. Observe, they have asked us to calculate Ix. Where is Ix in the circuit? That is here. Okay, Ix is nothing but current flowing through 28 ohm resistance, right? Okay, this is Ix, and this Ix is, observe this current source. Okay, this current source, okay, rhombus with the arrow mark is a current source. On what it is dependent? Current. Where it is? Ix is here, right? This current source is dependent on a current, therefore it is current control current source. Okay, so now you have to observe those things, and now we have to calculate Ix. Since they have said, specified something, that is calculate Ix, it means current flowing through that 28 ohm. What we have to do is, so don't alter that, try that, don't alter it. Okay, so then what we can do is, simple thing is, you have 3 loops now. Okay, you have 3 loops. Observe, first loop, second loop, and third loop, right? First loop is, in that first loop you have independent current source, directly you can take I1 is equal to 12 ampere, right? In that second loop and third loop, if you observe second and third loop, what happens here is, between second and third loop you have one current source. Okay, whenever we have a current source between 2 loops, then we apply super mesh analysis. Okay, that also you can do it. So now what I suggest is, that also you can do, you take it as a homework and you can complete it. So what I say is another method. See, this one is a dependent current source and this one is a resistance, both are in parallel. So you can convert this current source into a voltage source. Okay, this one also you can do, right? So now I explain in this way, by converting it. What you can do is, take this one as current source, 2 loops, between that current source, so apply super mesh. Okay, let's see, convert dependent current source into a dependent voltage source. So as we know, we are familiar with this, let it be both same, 12 ampere, 28 ohm resistance. So this, when you convert, you will get one voltage source, that is, tail indicates negative, arrow mark indicates positive. So this one, and then 4 ohm voltage source along with the resistance. What I want to means, what it means is, it might be converting or it might be a current source. If you are considering it as a current source, consider it as it is, like how we used to do with respect to independent sources. Only difference is on what it is dependent, that we have to calculate and we have to substitute. That's it. Okay, now we'll take this current source, dependent current source, into a voltage source, negative and positive, and this 4 ohm resistance will be in series with that. So we have to calculate, V is equal to I into R. So I is 2 Ix, you have to substitute 2 Ix into, or R is 4 ohm, which is nothing but 8 Ix. Okay, so that we have to take 8 Ix into 4 ohm in series, and then 8 ohm as it is. Okay, this is our one circuit. Now you can apply KVL for each loop. Since I1 is independent, it has, first loop has independent current source, you can take I1 is equal to 12 ampere. Okay, next what we can do is apply KVL for the second loop. When we are applying KVL for the second loop, consider, so start with this, it is a voltage source. Now whatever it may be, it is a voltage source, minus 8 Ix. Okay, next plus 4 I2 plus 8 I2. Okay, next plus 28. Observe these two current direction, yeah, both are opposite, so where you are in a second loop, so it should be I2 minus I1, which is equal to 0. Like this you have to write. Okay, so let's write that. Applying KVL, so minus 8ix plus, so in the second loop, 8ix minus 8ix plus 4i2 plus 8i2 plus 28i2 minus I1 equal to 0. Okay, in this equation we need to calculate what is this ix means. Okay, to calculate ix let's take a point P, apply KCL at that point. Okay, since at P KCL is ix is entering plus ix, I2 is also entering, so plus I2, and I1 is leaving, so minus I1 equal to 0. Ix will be equal to I1 minus I2. Take this and substitute in this equation. Okay, in the second equation. So let's call this equation number 3. Equation 3 in 2. So minus 8 ix place you can substitute I1 minus I2 plus 40 I2 minus 28 I1 equal to 0. So simplify this, you get a 48 I2 minus 36 I1 equal to 0. Write systematically I1 first and I2 second, minus 36 I1 plus 48 I2 equal to 0. Let's call this equation number 4. Solve by equation number 1 and 4. Okay, since you know I1 value, substitute in that, you get a I2 equal to 9 ampere. Okay, once you have got loop current I1 and I2, our task is to calculate what is Ix. Ix is nothing but I1 minus I2. I1 is 12 ampere minus 9 ampere, which is equal to 3 ampere. Okay, thank you.